Hello, this video is to get you acquainted with Adobe Illustrator. You'll go to your Start menu and find it in there to launch it. Double click. There we go. Just take a second. Now your initial artboard or desktop opens up. This is similar to what it looks like. Let's see if I can bring it into size on the frame. Um, It automatically opens up with some tips. These are some great little videos to watch that Adobe puts together. If you don't want it showing up all the time, click Don't Show Again, click Done. All right, now to bring our screen into, there we go. Get it all here into the recording screen. Now, the desktop for Adobe Illustrator across the top has menu functions. Many of them look familiar to most any kind of program that you utilize. You have File, Edit, Object Type, Select, Effect, View, Window, Help. We'll discuss a few of these and then in future videos talk about more of what is in those menus. On the left-hand side of your screen is your toolbox. These are all the tools to allow you to do things in Illustrator. And along the right-hand side are your palettes, sometimes in some instances referred to as panels. These give you options and control over specific different tools as you edit things on the screen. Now, up here where it says Essentials, this is different categories of sets of tools and palettes that would automatically open depending on kind of what you want to do. Essentials is really the basic ones or the best ones for us to work with. You will be able to always open and close these as you need them and customize your own desktop. Over here, if you want your tools in a single row, you can do that. I prefer to usually use mine in 2 rows. That way I can see all of them on my small laptop screen. Now when you open Illustrator, it does not open a file. So you get this blank one. And whatever you left open as far as any panels, the last time you used Illustrator, when you open it again, those will still appear. So let's get started in opening a new file. Go to File, click New. And the first thing it will prompt you to do is to name the file. We aren't saving it yet, we're giving it a name. Now for this one, it will help you get ready to prepare for doing your first assignment. So I would like for you to title this one your last name. So I am going to put mine in. And then we are going to call this one Name Play. You can space it or you can keep it all one together. Name Play. Profile, I would just leave it on its default. Number of artboards, this is basically the number of pieces of paper. Go ahead and just leave that at 1. You can always add more later when needed, but in this case we just need 1. Now your first time you open this, it actually might be in points units. Let's go ahead and change that to inches. And the letter size, I leave it at that just because that's our print capabilities at the school, and it gives you the basic 8.5 by 11 inch paper that you most typically use on a printer. But for whatever your end use is what you would, for printing, you could set it at any of these sizes. Actually up here on custom, it depends on what you're going to be using this for. Are you going to print it out? Are you going to publish it to the web, devices, video, film, whatever? We could put it on print. That's fine too. And the spacing and columns here just has to do with typing. We can manage that within the file and change that when we need to. All right, I'm going to put that back on inches. There we go. Orientation. You can have it portrait or landscape view. You can always change that later in the file. Now that we have given it a name, we're going to click OK. And what it gives us now is our artboard, which basically is our piece of paper that we're going to be able to work with. And then over here, we have only named the file. You can see it right here. Let's first go and save it. Just a typical window here, you would be able to save it as an Adobe Illustrator, and then you can manage where you want to save this. I've already got my folder up here if you need to double check which folder you're in, my documents, if you have a special one, all of that. Manage it here. Always take the time to read these things when you start saving stuff. That way you don't lose it. A lot of students say they lost their work. It's just they don't know where they saved it. So go slow and read everything. Click Save. All right. All of this, just keep it at its default at this point. And there we go. Now that we have saved it, see that it gives it the file format .ai for Adobe Illustrator. Just a few other things I'm going to point out in this video, and then in another one we will get more specific about all the tools. Once you have opened a document, a tool is highlighted. In this case, it was my default of a selection tool. I will go through the tools in another video as well, but I do want to point out that you'll see your top bar has changed now once we actually have a tool activated. We have options of control up here for tool management options, tool options, different things like that. These will change depending on which tool I select. Let's just pick a different one real quick and see. Some of them may change greatly, some of them may not change much at all. Oh, if you wind up putting the perspective grid on, didn't mean to click on that, come up here to this little square hide grid and click on that. That's how you get out of that. I will touch point on just a few of the categories of tools. Let me go back to our selection arrow. See the little line right here where my cursor is moving? This little line separates this category of tools from other categories. These are our selection tools. We have several different types in order to be able to select according to different attributes. The next category is your drawing tools, different ways you can draw things onto the paper. The next category, past that other demarcation line, are your editing tools. It allows you to edit some things. And then beyond that, some more miscellaneous tools in two groups here. The very last group right here is called your document management. I'll get into talking about those as well. And then further on down here, some other things. This was just to introduce you to the desktop and getting you started with opening a file.